already applying that there's a beginning and an end. And like to Esther, you create these social profiles. I've done some stuff for some campaigns where you pitch to a client like, hey, well, we're going to create this page, and you get this great interaction going, and the campaign's over. So how do you elegantly end this? You create all these great characters, and then Andrew, if you can answer from an agency standpoint, how do you justify it? You nurture this community, and then you're basically like, okay, time to move on to the next project.
So it's a funny thing that you bring up because that's exactly the dialogue that's happening with people who are working on alternate reality gaming, transmedia type of programs, especially with alternate reality gaming where there's a start and end to the story. We unfortunately do lose a lot of the community. I know there's a lot of discussion going on in the industry. I'm sure Robert can pipe in on this as well. He's very active in that dialogue. But we're looking at things, at least from my perspective, adopting some gaming models where if you look at a Zynga who has like 54 games in the catalog, you're not going to be in the front row forever. You might come in from Farmville and then leapfrog into other games. In my honest opinion, I think that if we're going to start doing interactive narrative in that particular form, we should start to build a brand around that storyteller and start to leverage the audiences that you built around a particular story and then sort of escalating on to the next story. And that way you're not losing the cachet of that community that loved the way that you told the story or the way that you executed it from a stylistic or visual or tonality standpoint. So, but unfortunately, with our particular game, we did lose the community. The irony of that is the community ended up finding us again even after the story was taken down. And oftentimes it's taken down because of cost. To maintain a community is a significant resource and a lot of time and a lot of liability for brands, so they won't keep it up after the games are over.
I think my answer would be, part of the problem is that it is so orientated around a campaign.
Right.
As a start and stop rather than building a community and then leveraging that community for the next. But I like to, what you basically have to do is kind of, rather than just bring it to an end, kind of write the characters out, or kind of find a narrative way to say this, because mum's taken away their slot, or find a way that the characters will then no longer use their Facebook account or whatever. It's a bit like, if you get like you play Fallout 3, it looks like it's a basketball, but when you get to the edge, there's a big mountain that you can't climb, or a river that you can't swim across, and it looks like you should be able to go in.
We really had to plan it out too, like 2 weeks out of our car. We have to cut this off, so how are we going to do that and know we're going to do it and let our fans kind of in on the secret as it were.
Well, and our story too, after it was a paranormal investigative story, but after the mystery was solved, the two characters went off on another exploration, and that's kind of how we encapped it. The last thing was, of course, just driving off, which is very cliche, but it was just a good, obvious end. But then again, people keep looking for us online for those characters. So if we ever wanted to resurface it, we could write a new story arc around the next adventure.
I mean, with that low light, so people can interact with the characters via email, but building the development systems to like test it out. So now because we're upgrading the development, because the developer actually working with the development system, I just put out office replies on the characters' email accounts. So if someone goes, I'm taking a vacation, it's very
I think from the agency perspective, and one of the best kind of examples, and most well-known examples of this probably is like the Old Spice, the man can smell like thing that went on. And I mean, it was like, had to define everything again. And, it's like it's going to be 24 hours and people were tweeting. And it was interesting, we actually were talking about this at work. I think it's like part of it is identifying what the company or the brand wants to do. I think a lot of the abilities to me of digital properties is how to communicate, obviously, with consumers. And so we were talking about how, I didn't follow that closely, but apparently people would start tweeting things that they thought were most brand relevant in order to get their question asked. So it's going to be 24 hours, or it's going to be, the first 100 people, or whatever it is. I think you have to set parameters of what's going to happen. Or you could develop a series of things. But I think it's got to be relevant to what they're doing. What a company wants to do, what a brand wants to do. It's got to be planned out. And ideally, it's like, there's it's actually something that's relevant to just reading a text story, we can start, with this episode, the actual part, we start to put metrics in, like, at what page people stop reading, and what page did most people read, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of different metrics you can build in for identifying what most interests people and what doesn't interest people.
Thank you, Trevor.
First off, kudos. Are you going to have these slides up anywhere?
Yeah, they will be on SlideShare, so I think